All right, as we're arriving, we're just going to do a fun icebreaker of the weekly report. This is host Sue's uh, idea that I love. So you can share something you're reading, eating, playing, obsessed about, would recommend, or a treat. I'll share that in the chat too. Would love to hear what some things that you are exploring this week for this last month. And I'll share my own report on the slide. Ooh, sprinkle cookie. Yum. Excited and obsessed. And make sure you download our monthly planning guide as well so that you can get started. You're able to fill it out. It's completely editable. The God of the Woods. Ooh, okay. Big college football game. Fun. All it takes is a goal. Nice, Robin. Wow. All right, 40 seconds. And I grab my water so I don't have such a dry mouth. There we go. Eating grapes, yum, and dark chocolate, always obsessed with that too. The monthly Explore worksheet should be, I think, one of the first downloads on the link. Oh, it's the third one down. Monthly Explore worksheet. That's the one you can download. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into what today is all about. This is our only monthly session, so it is being recorded. However, none of you will be shown in our recording. And what we're going to do is reflect on this last month on August, do some meditation, and then do a summit reflection again on some of the where we want to head towards in the next month. We'll do some stretching, and then we'll get ready. We'll get prepared for how we're going to approach our summit in the month ahead, and then share a little bit with each other. And if you're new to Focus Space and this is your first call with us, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Love to get to know you, and also just hear if this is your first focus session. Thanks for joining. And if this is not your first focus session, feel free to share what you like about Focus and what brings you here. All right, that brings us to meditating. I'm going to mute our music for now. And just to gather ourselves and get ready for this session, let's go ahead and find a comfortable position. Maybe if you're sitting or standing, that's totally fine. Just take a moment to settle in and arrive. Maybe close your eyes. We're going to take a few deep breaths, and we'll inhale deeply through our nose if that feels right for you, and exhaling slowly through your mouth, even longer than your inhale if you can. Let's start with an inhale in and out. Maybe feel some of that tension in your body and try to let that go. Bring your breath towards it. And try to become present on your next breath too. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Notice any thoughts that might be passing by. Allow yourself to just be present and notice. And we're going to start to visualize a journey through the past month together, thinking about it like a hike through a beautiful landscape. Maybe you see yourself walking through valleys, climbing peaks, standing on summits, looking out into the future, the sun. And let's take a deep breath in, bringing ourselves to that moment. Maybe it's during the hike, maybe it's at the top of a mountain. Breathing in and letting go, breathing out. And as you visualize this journey, reflect on the peaks of your past month. Maybe there were some moments of joy, success, growth. Allow yourself to fully experience the gratitude and fulfillment these moments brought. And next, we can acknowledge the valleys, the challenges, setbacks, difficult moments we experienced. Allow yourself, as you continue breathing in and out, to feel any emotions that arise, knowing that it's a natural part of the journey. Let's take a deep breath in together and out. Finally, on this next breath, we'll envision standing on a summit, looking out into the future, seeing ourselves filled with clarity, purpose, or determination. We'll set an intention for the month ahead, visualizing moving forward with strength and resilience and that intention in mind. Let's take another deep breath in and out. Now, take a few moments here to reflect on this journey, appreciating the highs, the lows, the lessons we learned along the way. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to your breath, taking a few more deep breaths, feeling a sense of peace and readiness for the month of reflection ahead. Let's do another couple breaths together, breathing in, our longest inhale yet, and breathing out, even longer exhale. Let's do one more before we open our eyes and reorient ourselves. When we do, feel free to soften your gaze. You don't have to look at your computer right away if your eyes were closed. Let's close out with one more breath together, breathing in and doing our longest exhale yet, breathing out. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes, take a moment to get reoriented to your surroundings, bringing in the sense of peace and clarity that we're working towards. All right. Feel free to share some intentions in the chat if you had any good ones that you were thinking about. I'd love to hear them, and they might inspire someone else for their monthly intention. All right. Let's get into starting with reflecting. We're going to reflect so that we can figure out what went well and what was challenging about our last month, the month we're still in. By taking time to reflect, we're taking time to learn and notice what's worked and what was hard. So we'll start with our peaks, and that's going to be our highs from this past month. These can be big or small. Maybe there's 3 people or moments you're grateful for, thinking about maybe when you were at your best or something you're proud of. And I'll share these questions in the chat. We'll have about 4 minutes for the peaks, and then we'll get into our valley. Valley is a low area of land between hills or mountains. Oftentimes, rivers flow in these areas, so they can be beautiful too, and it's also where growth can happen for us. So take a moment to reflect on maybe 1 to 3 challenges from this past month where you were in the valley, and think about the lessons learned and how we can reflect on that going forward to this next month. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to turn our music back on as well. So We got some nice vibes in the background, and I'll share some of these peak questions. You've got 4 minutes. All right, now's a good time to finish up your peaks and move to your valleys if you haven't yet. We got another 4 minutes here to continue reflecting. Feel free to share in our chat some of your peaks and valleys. Love to hear what you've reflected on so far, and you might inspire someone with what you wrote. Awesome, Scott. Feel free to share some of the links to the Channel 10 story and the YouTube Live. Also, Oregon sounds awesome. Excited to hear how that goes. Congrats to Megan. PMP exam passed. Oh, nice, Deborah. I love that. Happy belated birthday. Sometimes you just gotta be your own queen or king, whatever the tiara might signify for you. All right, we got another minute and a half here. Thanks, Scott, for sharing. Cat Dad Show. Oh, that's awesome, Elizabeth. Congratulations. Feel free to share what the job is if you'd like. We'll cheer you on. Ooh, student conduct administration. Cool. Yay, awesome, Christina. Feel free to share your membership community with us. If there's any links you'd like to share. Also, I'll mention that if you are a Focus member, we have a Focus Space community forum where you can get to know members, share what you're working on, share any progress you've made. It's a good place to hang out. All right, we'll wrap up here shortly. Feel free to keep sharing some of those peaks and valleys. Maybe if there's a question that resonated with you, I'd love to hear which one was a good question to ask yourself and maybe you weren't expecting. I like when was I at my best this month? I like that one a lot. I think that's something to think about more for me. Oh, thanks for sharing, Christina. Okay, nice, Deborah. Congratulations. That's great to hear. Okay, Focus Space folks are crushing it. And also feel free to share some valleys. Let's normalize sharing some valleys. I don't know if I've seen any in the chat yet. I had a challenging experience with myself around my budgeting and needing to really take a harder look at where I was spending and where I needed to stop spending. So both a peak and a valley, getting clarity there. Had to set some boundaries, not losing temper. Oh, sorry, Megan, about time spent with a narcissist. Oof. Went to a storytelling event last night that talked a lot about narcissists. Felt cathartic to listen to. Good to know, Scott. Yeah, sometimes someone's not a good fit. You gotta do the right thing. I'm sorry your kids are sick, Elizabeth. Having to go on leave. Family is a challenge, yes. Wow, thank you all for sharing these valleys. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and move on. Oh, that's where the timer was. We're gonna move on to looking ahead to our summit. So we've taken time to reflect, notice, and learn. It's time to focus on what we want to do next month. Imagine you've climbed the highest mountain, endured challenges, experienced beauty and peaks along the way. Now we're at the top, and it's time to look out to the future. Think about what you're most excited about for this next month. The summit is maybe a goal, a challenge, top priorities. And I'll share these questions in the chat as well. You can feel free to paste these directly into your PDF. We've got 8 minutes here, starting now. There's the timer. I'm going to share another way to think about some of your goals for the month in the chat as well. Brain dump, prioritize, and support. All right, we got about 2 minutes left. And if you're feeling a little bit all over the place, that's totally okay. We're going to use the next part of this to refocus, figure out how we're going to get this done, what exactly we want to focus on. So have no fear. You've got this. Feel free to just use this time to collect your thoughts and ideas for the month ahead. All right, now's a good time to do a little bit of a stretch. Let's go ahead and lift our arms up to the sky, stretching out as much as possible. Maybe going ahead and bringing one arm up, the other arm down, and leaning to one side, getting a good side stretch in, and then going to the other side, doing the same thing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share some of our refocus questions in the chat. So you can have some time to reflect here on some of the goals that you might have just put down on the monthly planner. Then we will get into preparing. So feel free to answer some of those questions for yourself. And if you had any goals you're excited about or want to share for some accountability, you can go ahead and share those in our chat before we jump in and do some preparing. So now that we've reflected and we've come up with a plan, we're going to jump in here to make sure we're prepared enough to tackle that plan. So similar to going on a trip or adventure, we want to think about how can we be best ready to achieve our goals, make it to the summit. And I'll share some of the questions in the chat, but we're going to think about this as both prep and rest and inspiration. We know all of these are essential to meeting our goals. So you'll see on the bottom half, we've got rest and inspiration, and I'll share some of the questions to inspire you in the chat. And we've got 3 minutes here. All right. Feel free to share in the chat what you are going to do for rest and inspiration. And then we're going to get into some sharing in real time. So we know here at Focus that you are actually 65% more likely to complete your goals if you share them. So we're going to take about 5 minutes to split into groups of about 6 to 8 to share 1 to 3 of your top goals for next month. We love introverts here at Focus Space, so if you're feeling shy, that's okay if you want to jump off, or you can just be off of video for the group breakouts. I'm going to go ahead and create our breakout rooms. Make sure that while you're in groups, you're speaking from your own experience, and I'll share the prompt as well in the chat. And I'll hop around to the rooms as well so that I can hear from each of you. Sounds good, Angela. Thanks for joining. Awesome, Alexis. Okay, I'm going to jump over to some of the rooms. Listen in. Folks are going to come on back. We'll close out together. Welcome back. I hope sharing was nice to hear what other folks are working on. And I'd love to hear your feedback on today, on some of your takeaways. And also, if you're not yet a Focus Space member, we've got a free month trial. So I shared a link to that too. And then you can email me, becca@focus.space. Would love to hear from you, hear what you're working on, what you'd like to focus on this month. Awesome, Christina. Yes, me too. Big fan. Thanks for joining. And if you want a recording, we'll have a recording too. I'm sorry for the bigger breakout rooms. Not sure if everyone got to share, but appreciate y'all jumping in there. Oh, nice, Shunya. Great to hear. Feel free to share that. I'll send the survey once more in the chat so it doesn't get lost. I'd love any of your feedback so we can make these even better. Next week's theme, by the way, is easing back into work after time away. Didn't have a good gift for this. I gotta work on my gift game. Thank you for joining. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday.
Thanks,
Bye,
Beck.
bye.
See you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Beck.
See y'all.
See ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye, folks.